What's up, everybody? It's your boy, Wings of Redemption. We're back with Chaos Theories. We don't keep the numbers on these episodes because we're too damn lazy. Pour that malt liquor up. We got Mr. Chaos Math here again. We've never dropped the Mister from his name because he's a fucking boss man.
What's going on, everybody?
Oh, man, dude. You know what they tried to vote us up this week?
What? What are we doing?
We're doing Nessie.
Nessie. Lochness.
Yeah, Nessie.
Lochness Monster.
Yeah, the monster.
Okay. Challenge accepted.
Challenge is accepted. I mean, but I see this challenge and I think, man, do we have to do the Ogo Pogo too? And like, there's going to be some motherfucker like, yeah, do the Ogo Pogo. And it's going to be like 14 upvotes.
Yeah, I would, so why don't we just make this the
Ogo
mythical
Pogo
water
show?
Beast episode?
Yeah, mythical water beast.
Yeah, I'm sure there's the Scottish version, there's the American version, there's probably some sort of Chinese or Tibetan. Yeah. There's I guess we could throw the Lady of the Lake in there too. Or
anything that motherfuckers can't see into, there's a monster.
Yeah. Okay, so Loch Ness Monster. All right.
How about we just throw the whales in the sky in there too, you know?
Flying whales?
Yeah, flying space whales.
Dude, you know that Gojira song, Flying Whales?
Yeah.
Everybody go look that up. You want to hear a badass song, go look up Flying Whales.
I was listening to my Gojira album just the other day, and I'm like, man, dude, I would love to do a top 5 greatest rock albums ever, because that would be up there. That would be like number 2 or 3.
You know what's crazy about metal is, in my opinion, the best bands now that do metal aren't American anymore. Like Meshuggah are Swedish.
Meshuggah's really good, but like
Gojira's French.
Mm-hmm. Well, Mastodon's more alternative, but I really think they're up there.
Yeah, they're pretty good. But they don't have much to do with the Loch Ness Monster, do they? So, all right, I just steered us back on the road.
Back onto Loch Ness Monster. All right,
I got the wheel under control. All right, so from what little there is to talk about Nessie, fucking Nessie is fucking great, yeah.
All right, let's go ahead and read some Wikipedia. By the way, Wikipedia needs donations, motherfuckers. The term monster was reportedly applied to the first time the creature on May 2nd, 1933 by Alex Campbell, the water bailiff of the Loch Ness and a part-time journalist, and reported to Emirates. On August 4th, 1933, the Courier published the full news item insertion of a London man, George Spicer. Who the fuck is George Spicer? George Spicer was the first man to basically see the Loch Ness Monster. By the way, we've stopped reading on Wikipedia at this point. And he basically crossed in front of his car, and he got out and he watched it go into the water.
Jesus Christ!
Crikey! Look at that beast!
Yeah, fucking look at that. Yeah, and there's an ancient, the first, I think, actual mention of a monster in Loch Ness is in the 6th century, and there was some saint was talking about how he was there and something tried to pull him in the water and he did the sign of the cross and he who was in the water must stay in the water and everything was fine again. But yeah, and then it jumps all the way to 1933. So my first bullshit alarm is the fact that we went from the 6th century to the 20th century without anyone talking about the Loch Ness Monster.
Yeah, so that motherfucker's got a long life. And I've always wondered this myself. If the Loch Ness Monster is real, even if you take the 6th century shit as bullshit and he got caught on a route or some shit, from 1933 to 2012, that's a long life for an animal.
Yeah, it's a good run.
That's a good run, especially for a huge animal.
Yeah, but reptiles tend to live a long time, so if we're gonna entertain this, I guess you could say that there's, any sort of, because it would basically be a fucking dinosaur, right? Isn't that it? There's a dinosaur.
It had to be well over 100 years, because in 1933 this thing was running on land, and I guess it was full grown at that point.
Right.
So it has to be well over 100.
Now it's like the Yoda version of the Loch Ness Monster.
Yeah, it's levitating spaceships and stuff in the swamp.
Yeah, it's got its powers, but it's sort of retired, just doesn't want to be bothered anymore.
You ever see those Star Inquirer magazines that says Nessie found dead?
Right, so there's the other bullshit. The alarm that goes off is when the Inquirer is writing about you. You're probably bullshit. Yeah, the problem is there's no evidence again. This goes back to the Bigfoot syndrome. Remember we did Bigfoot?
Yeah, we did do Bigfoot.
You had one shaky ass movie, and that was it. And like, you know, with this, there's this one stupid photograph of, you know, this like looks like a neck, or it's supposed to be a neck.
Surgeon's photograph?
Yes, right. So that photograph, the surgeon's photograph, it to me looks like just a branch floating in the water, and it doesn't look big. If you look at the size of...
You know what it looks like? It looks like somebody went underwater and like their butt's sticking out and their legs are up.
Or just like a piece of driftwood. It just, for me, that does not look like...
Well, it has a wake on it.
Yeah, it has a wake, so it's moving. But, I mean, if that's a log with a branch sticking up, it would make a wake.
Well, what about the film? You've seen the film, right?
I haven't seen the film, but I bet I don't really need to.
There's a film of like an old, like, I don't know, with some millimeter film, like one of those really old grainy films from like the 60s. And like you can see it pick its head up and put it back down in the water.
Back into the left.
Yeah. And like, I think that's been proven to be, what were we using here? Scam?
Yeah, just forged or fake.
Faulty.
Yeah, fake.
You know what always bothers me the most about this kind of stuff? How much money people pour into this fucking thing. Like, they actually expect to see a dinosaur in that lake. That lake is pitch black, cold, and has hardly any fish.
There's multiple scientific expeditions with, you know, sonar equipment. I mean, they even did some satellite scanning of the loch to try to, you know, rule it out. Like, all right, we're gonna find him. We're gonna use, you know, satellites and sonar, like, you know, real deep sonar, not just something you would have like a, what do they call those things that fishermen have? I can't remember, but anyway, it's, you know, just basically a little sonar thing. But I mean, they used like big duty stuff, and they couldn't find anything. And I mean, there were some seals. There's been known to be seals in Loch Ness, but the problem is there's just nothing substantial here. There's a picture, and, you know, you're saying isn't the shaky film that maybe, you know, well, I guess that could be but there's no.
What about shows like Monster Quest? Like, they're obviously scripted, but it's like every time one of these shows happen, they find something.
Right, but
it's like what the fuck? Get out of here, son.
Yeah, they find everything but the fucking monster.
And I'll be watching these shows, and I actually, the last time I watched one of these shows, I sat there and I was thinking, man, if this show actually finds this fucking monster, I'd already hear about it before this bitch aired.
Yeah, and can we, you know, so I don't know, here's my proposal. I mean, I think we can just sort of safely assume in the age of information, and we're well into the age of information now, there's no fucking monsters, man. We'd have found the monsters by now, the vampires, the Sasquatches, the Loch Ness monsters, the Yetis, you know, all these different, you know, cultures that have their monster lore. They're monsters. I mean, they're, you know, you could find them in the monster manual.
Let me go and kill Nessie off real quick for you. I'm about to put the death of Nessie down right here on my channel.
Yeah, put the old girl out of her misery, please.
All right, Nessie is supposed to be, what was it, a Plesiosaurus, something like that. That thing that swims in the water. Everybody see it. It's I don't know how to pronounce it. It's the Plesiosaurus, something like that. It's basically an animal with a bunch of fins and a long neck. Well, every picture you see of Nessie, it raises his head up, like almost like a cobra ready to strike. Yeah. It couldn't do that if it was that dinosaur, because its spine wouldn't work that way.
Really?
Yeah, it would if you look at the actual animal itself, the vertebrae are so long that if it picked its head up like that, it would smash the vertebrae of its neck together into its back.
Okay.
Like it would hyperextend its neck to do that.
Huh. So you're saying couldn't be a plesiosaur because
couldn't do it.
Couldn't do it.
And it also wouldn't be going on land, where there's obviously land sightings.
Right. Yeah. Right. That's the other thing. Is right. They've made the Loch Ness monster amphibious.
Like it ruts like an alligator or some shit. Like it goes on land to lay eggs and goes back into the water.
It's fucking Yoshi, dude.
And even then, like even the age thing, it would have to reproduce if it's going to be this long.
So there's baby Loch Ness monsters, and there's a whole family of Nessies.
And something that big, I don't care how big the lake is, something that big and something that's such a pivotal part of like an infrastructure of an area, like for fishing and stuff like that, people would see it.
Yeah, well, somebody would have seen it. Everybody, like now, so here's the problem with all these monster things. Like now everyone's got an iPhone in their pocket. They can take video. Like we see people getting beat by cops every other day, but nobody can nobody happens to catch one of these monsters, ever. Didn't have my phone with me. Like, we would have seen some sort of evidence of any of, this handful of legendary mythical beasts that people think are running around. But I don't know, I suppose it's fun. It's fun to entertain the thought of things like that.
It is fun.
But that's really all you're doing is entertaining yourself. I'd like to believe that there's, vampires out there, not like the shiny Twilight ones, but, like, I don't know, the Anne Rice novels. I don't know if anyone even knows who that is.
The one I always go to is the werewolf.
The werewolf?
The werewolf. Like when I'm outside my house doing something and it's at night and I'm by myself in the darkness.
Yeah.
First thing I think about is like silver bullet werewolf, like looking at me from the woods. Like when the kid was on the bridge with the.
Did you see American Werewolf in London?
Which one?
There was more than one?
They remade it a couple times.
Oh, I'm just talking about the original, I guess.
Yeah, I've seen it, yeah.
Yeah, that was pretty cool.
I've never seen the remakes.
Weren't they in Scotland?
There was one, the American Werewolf in Paris, and there's also a remake of the American Werewolf in London.
Yeah, I remember in the beginning it was like two guys were walking through the woods, they were in Scotland or something. They were on their.
That was dog soldiers.
What?
Dog soldiers.
Dog soldiers?
Mm-hmm.
What does that mean? Was that the movie?
There's a movie named Dog Soldiers.
Oh,
the Scotland one.
Oh, all right. I guess, I was confused. I thought that they were in Scotland when they got attacked, like his buddy, and then like his buddy was dead and he was talking to him or something like that. It was a pretty weird movie. But yeah, you know what I mean? Like, it's fun to think that there's these monsters out there, but, if you're going to actually scrutinize them and look for evidence and probability, and it's just, there's no Loch Ness Monster.
You got to draw the line somewhere. We can't be burning witches at the stake and drowning women to see if they're witches anymore.
Right. I mean, it's like Loch Ness. In order to find a Loch Ness Monster, you got to go to Hogwarts and you got to get some sort of relic that's going to allow you to call. Wasn't there a Metalocalypse episode where there was like some mythical water beast up in Finland? Did you ever watch that show?
I never really watched Metalocalypse that much.
Oh, that was there was like some sort of giant monster in the water too, and they had to play metal to get it to come up. I think James Hetfield from Metallica was the voice of the water beast, but yeah.
I just thought of something else.
What's that?
We can find a body that's been dumped in the river a week later, but we can't find Leslie.
Yeah, I'm gonna say that's because she ain't there.
You gotta drag the water, son.
You ain't got no monster out there in there, Loch,
So, Ogopogo bullshit, Loch Ness Monster bullshit, and any other fucking mythical water beast out there. Bullshit.
It's a big old steaming pile of bullshit. Yeah.
We should be the thumbnail of this video, just like a bull with like a professional suit on, like the first connoisseur of bullshit.
Yeah, either that or just a big coil.
Yeah, big old coil.
Big old coil of the brown stuff. Bullshit, sorry. Yeah.
We're writing the Loch Ness Monster off, people.
Yeah, we're going to scratch him off the list. I mean, what does he do, too? He hasn't, actually accomplished anything.
He sells lots of fucking tours.
Yeah, if you're going to be a monster, you should have some sort of, story that goes with it.
You got to kill a couple people now.
Exactly. Fucking eat somebody, will you? Earn your keep. If we're gonna have to talk about you, do something swallow a car whole and spit out skeletons, or I don't know, just do something. Don't just swim around like an idiot.
You know what's gonna give this story creed there down the line?
What?
Some asshole was gonna dig the bottom of that lake with diving, and they're gonna find a fossil of this plesiosaurus.
Yeah, right. No, he was here.
Oh, he's here. You see? Give me money. Oh man. We're not trying to make fun of anybody that's from Loch Ness or Scottish people in general.
The Ogopogo
is the North American version of the Loch Ness Monster, and he's stupid too.
He's dumb. Sorry, but he's dumb. Sorry.
All right, guys. That's Chaos Theories, Loch Ness Monster. Let us know in the comment section what would you like to see next week, and give us something that we can actually
give us something to work with, guys. The Loch Ness Monster. But that's the thing. Like, we're actually going to listen to you though. If that's
we
what
do,
you
we did. We did a lot
about it. We'll fucking talk about it. But that was a tough one to. There wasn't much meat on them bones, if you know what I mean.
Them dry bones.